All right, hopefully this will be a shorter video than the last one. Not that the last one was terribly long, but now you're going to be analyzing and interpreting the meaning of slope and intercept from a linear model. So yeah, it sounds like algebra. You're going to be doing a little bit of algebra. Okay, this is target 8B, your objectives. You're going to be able to construct your own scatter plot. You're going to create a line of best fit and an equation for the line, and you're going to determine the slope of the line and the intercept, what the slope represents with regards to, or interpret what the slope represents with regards to the problem. You're going to interpret what the y-intercept of a graph represents. All right, so creating scatter plots. This is really easy. So if you're given a set of data, like a table, okay, you're going to use that information to put points in a graph. So if these are my x values, these are my y values, all you have to do is read them like a graph. Like the first one would be, okay, I need to put a point at 6122. Okay, which would be right about there. 65, 136 would be about there. 68, 198 would be about there. 71, 79 would be about there. And 77, 200 would be about there. All right, and then you just draw a line through it that best fits the data. It's not obviously not going to line up. You're not connecting the dots. It needs to be, this is for a linear equation, so we're putting a straight line through it. Now, I am going to show you how to do this on your calculator as well. So don't sweat making sure that your line is absolutely perfect. It should look, pretty close to what the data looks like, though. All right, so like I said, you're going to use your calculator to find a line of best fit and trend line and the equation, which using your calculator, you would be able to find out that the equation would be 4.9x minus 166.1. All right. Okay, the slope. Now remember, slope-intercept form, this is easy stuff. All right, so once you use your calculator to do this, okay, and you have this, okay, the slope is your m. So it's right there. The slope is 4.9. All you have to do is read it off the calculator. Now, what does it mean in the context of the graph? Well, it means that for every unit that x increases, y increases by almost 5. Because remember, this would be like, if we were to round this up, it would be about 5 over 1. And this is your at y, and that's your x. So for every 1 that x increases, y goes up by 5. So if it was like 2 over 3, you'd say for every 3 x increases, y would increase by 2. All right? So that's what that means. Okay, now the y-intercept, it actually has a purpose other than saying, well, where does my line cross the y-axis? It can help you determine important information that may not be implicitly stated in the problem. All right, so for example, if you're given a graph already, the slope, well, if we look here, let me change the color so you can actually see it. Okay, if we go up 2 and right, now it's 2 boxes, but keep in mind that every 2 boxes is 1 year. So you need to be careful here. The slope isn't 2 over 2. The slope is 2 over 1. All right. So the slope is actually 2 million because it says it's in millions. So the slope is 2 millions. What does it mean in the context of the problem? Okay, so it indicates that for every 1 year, the number of people with health insurance, which is what we get from this, will increase by 2 million because from 212 to 214 is 2 million. Okay. And what is the y-intercept? And what does it mean in the context of the problem? So in other words, okay, where does this line intercept my y-axis, which this is the y-axis here, so it intersects it right here. What does it mean in the context of the problem? Well, if you just look at the year that's on the y-intercept, which is 1989, so it means that in 1989, there were 212 million people who had health insurance, and the y-intercept itself is 212 million. You've got to make sure you put that. You can't say 212. Make sure you're paying attention to the units. Okay, so let's look at this example. What is a slope? Okay, and here's how you find it out if you don't have, if you're not very good at reading this. Okay, so I remember this formula, y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. So if I take this point and this point, this is at 15, 0. Okay. And this one is at 14. And if I go down, 25. All right. So 15 minus 14, 0 minus 25 gives you 1 over 25, and that's negative because of this negative here. So the slope will be negative 1 over 25. Let me erase all that. Okay, so negative 1 gallon for every 25 miles. Like I said, negative 1 over 25, that's all you would have to put for the slope. So just do that y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Pick 2 points. And what it means is that for every 25 miles driven, there's 1 less gallon of gas in the tank. Pretty simple. What does the y-intercept represent in the graph? Well, at 0 miles, how many gallons do we have? Okay, 0 miles driven, there are about 15 gallons in the tank. Pretty simple stuff. Now for the next class, make sure you're prepared to take notes because we are going to be going over how to do this on the calculator. There won't be a video. There's only going to be what we go over in class, and I am not going to spend more than the 1 day going through this. So you've got to make sure you take good notes when we do it so you know how to do it on your own because I can't help you during a quiz or a test. All right? And then if you miss that class, you're going to have to stay after 1 day or come in early so that you can learn the calculator portions of the assignment, even if your absence is excused. So make sure you show up for that day, please, folks. All right? Have a good one.